Hello, welcome to our weekly video. Today we're going to talk with Roger Bertrand about the little voice that is inside of us. And in this video, it will be represented by our little fellow here. So, Roger, how would you describe the little fellow, shall we say, for the sake of this video, Leo, that sits inside of us?
Okay.
How would you describe it?
Well, I would describe it. Okay, we got two voices in ours, and then we got one because we all want to achieve things, don't we? Well,
Yes.
most of us do. Now, but only a percentage actually really do it. Now, why is that? Because I believe we have a little fellow. So let's say, for example, you motivate yourself to say, well, okay, I am a great businessman. I really can do fantastic. I am earning this kind of money. I can look after my family. When it's my time to go, then I can leave a legacy and all that. And then when the time comes, maybe half of that would not have happened. And that little voice said, "Hey, I told you, you little swine." Yeah. Okay. So how do we actually control that little voice and use it for the better? So by the time, when the time comes, we can probably say, so in the last hour of my life or our life, we can probably say, fantastic. I know I've left something for my stepchildren because I don't have any of my own, so I can left something for my stepchildren. I know they're going to be comfortable. It's up to them how they're going to use what I left for them. I can't control that. It's up to them. I am proud to say I have given a big donation to Group Power who help the homeless people in Manchester. That's what I want you to know. I am proud to say I have set up a coffee shop, Group Power coffee shop, and half the profit are going to shelter, for example, helping the homeless people. So I have achieved what I wanted, and I had a wonderful life. Okay, and I've made my parents proud, even though obviously, if I am at the end of my life, my parents would have passed away by then. Yeah, so if I live another 40 years, let's say, then my parents would be then 127 by the time I am 100. 112 or whatever. Yeah. So, you know what I mean? And often that voice, and then when we don't get, okay, we don't always succeed in the way we think we probably succeed, but that's okay. But that people say, hey, I told you, you're not that good, are you really? I told you. Yeah. So said it. And then the other one, no. You.
So what would you do with that little voice?
Well,
what would you do with me?
Well, I kick his bum if I could.
Okay, so how?
I don't know, to be honest.
Okay. So
it's not a physical thing, is it?
let me tell you. Well, the little voice, and some times ago, when I was at university, we had a lecture from social services, social topics. And one of the lecturers that was running that lecture, he said to us, he says, do you know why one of your arms is lower, yeah, than the other? So everybody was, looking and was very curious. And he says, because you've got this little voice sitting on your arm and pulling it down. So everybody laughed. And later on, when I started to go deeper into a spiritual development and learned about our three brains and so on, when I went and did a course on Ho'oponopono,
On what?
we were
Can you repeat that? Sorry, my apologies. The course on?
the course on Ho'oponopono.
Oh, what's that? Okay, I don't know that.
It's an ancient Hawaiian way of healing people and healing objects.
Oh, yeah.
And basically, the inner voice, okay, is our subconscious mind.
The inner voice is our conscious mind.
It's our subconscious mind.
Conscious mind, yeah.
Yeah. Now, in order for it to be on our side, okay, and sort of love us, we need to actually be able to get this inner voice on our side. Because let's say at the moment it is all over the place and is giving us the alternative voice, so to speak, isn't it? It's giving us the contradictory voice. So we need to get this on our side.
Okay.
Okay, and according to Ho'oponopono, there are specific ways of doing with this. Sadly, I cannot give the details of it, but it is very important that this voice is actually helping us rather than working against us or basically making a joke out of us.
Right. So that little voice who's nagging us saying, no, you can't do that, is actually helping us, okay?
Is actually helping us, yes, because in many ways it is actually motivating us. Is actually challenging us to go better, to go further, to do what we really are dreaming about, to do what we are here to do. Okay, it's like a conscious voice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, let's say, imagine yourself among friends who are constantly nagging you and saying, oh, Roger, no, you can't really, you're never going to succeed in YouTube. Or, Roger, oh, you're silly, you should go and do 9 to 5. You will have solid money coming in. Why are you working for yourself? Why are you building a business that you don't know much about? You know what I mean? That's precisely the same thing what we are talking about. So instead of listening to them and taking account of them, you can either say, okay, I can try to bring them on my side, or you can say, well, thank you very much. It was great knowing you. You know, I am afraid I will not be able to meet you or talk to you again because I am very busy.
Okay.
Yes. So that's how I receive this little fellow that is sitting on my arm.
So that little fellow, so in other words, you're having a chat with that little fellow.
Yes.
We're having a chat with a proper person.
Absolutely.
That person. Actually, I had that quite a few times on even on Facebook, and by a guy, and that he couldn't understand why I was doing this and that project and the other. And he sent me a few messages in the past on that. Why don't you get a proper job like 9 to 5? Then you'll have
exactly.
money. But then you'll have money coming in every month. But the point is, unfortunately, through the pandemic, himself, he find himself that he lost his job and he's got no solid money coming in. He's on furlough or something.
Exactly.
Whether he's going to have his job back, God knows. So there is a good chance he may not have it back, even though he don't particularly like me, which is fine. Don't like me, fine, okay. I don't wish him bad. I never wish anybody bad anyway, because it's not my nature. So it's not me. I just don't. So it's interesting to and then 2 months down the line, and after that that little horrible virus started to spread, then obviously the government had to do something, and it could be one of the victims, job-wise, to that. So this 9 to 5 security that people think they have, well, there is no security at all, unless you are a key worker, a nurse, a doctor, or even a health worker, or even a care worker like Scott is, yeah, because they will need him. He works three nights a week, sometimes 4 when he does a bit of a time. But apart from that, I can't see any security really. And,
Well, I think in many ways, in my opinion, even the most secure jobs that we think they are no longer secured. Simply, okay, NHS and currently under the pandemic, they obviously need as many hands as possible. That's
yeah.
very clear, yes.
No.
But if you look at the police force,
Oh yeah, I know they've reduced that by thousands. That's absolutely
the
ridiculous.
police force is dramatically reduced, and sometimes there are 2 police officers patrolling 2-3 areas.
That's just crazy.
It is A, it is danger, and B, it is absolutely irresponsible of the authorities.
Oh yeah.
Simply because 2 officers covering big areas, they are actually at risk of losing life
Well, yeah, themselves.
themselves.
Yeah, because actually, and I'm glad to say that, even though we're not supposed to be critical, but I'm not going to go. The French president is the opposite on that. He doesn't reduce the police force, and he doesn't like it. And I agree with him, I must say. So
I would say that as well. I think in many ways today there is no job that we can say is a secure job.
no, I agree. But at the same time, I think there is definitely, Frankie mentioned that before. There is a lack of wisdom from our leaders, a massive lack of wisdom, because for the simple fact, for example, number one, if we have a healthy population, we have a healthy economy. Okay. And I've seen actually that not so long ago going on TV, like, going on a news like that. One of the ministers is finally saying that. I don't know why it took them so long to realize that. To me, it's just so obvious. But anyway, so in other words, what it means, if the NHS had been better equipped in the first place, I'm not saying that they would have had a magic wand and saved all the lives that's been lost, but I'm sure there would have been fewer lives lost for a start. Yeah. Anyway, I'm not going into that further. But if the hospital are proper equipped, if the medical staff is proper equipped, they will be able to work better with the patients. And I've realized something absolutely, and I think I'd like to do a video on that, but just on that. When I used to visit Gwen at the hospital, because she went this time and then she passed away, but before that she went 7 months previous to that, okay? And I've realized, at the entrance, so you go in the main entrance, so you walk past the coffee shop, you walk past the reception on the left, you walk straight, okay? There is 4 things on the wall when you can wash your hand with a hand sanitizer. If I was going to keep statistic on the number of people using them, I would be generous to say there is at least 5% or less people using them. And I think it's probably less than that. Absolutely, what's the word for it? Bewildered or something? Is that the word? Yeah, absolutely surprised. But at the same time, no. Oh yeah, these people just go in and I said, for God's sake, we're in hospital, wash your hands. And then again, when you go into the wards, they've got those sanitizers outside the wards, yeah. And yet people, they just don't use it. Or some do, because obviously it was empty sometimes. So some do, okay. But I would say it's definitely a lot less than 50%. I would be surprised if 50% did use it. That would be a fantastic result. And I find that astonishing. You're going into hospital, and then so you know, they are telling us that we have to wear a mask when you go on buses next week or something, which is fine. I can understand that. But what they should be doing is make it compulsory to use the hand sanitizer. When you go and visit a relative in hospital, it should be made compulsory that you use the hand sanitizer before you go in. In my
Yeah.
opinion, I had hand sanitizer with me today when I went to town. So when I left the bus, when I jump off the bus here, just down the road from my house, I just put some on my hands, and when I that, yeah, and then walk on, yeah. And people could say, you're going to hospital, wash your hand, yeah, use it's just there, the hand sanitizer, you know, and then
But
you know,
what is the point of using sanitizer when the nurses and doctors are wearing the hospital clothes outside of the hospital?
outside the hospital. What do you mean?
Well, there is no changing facilities, so the nurses are coming in the uniform. They will put the uniform on in the house. They go on public transport or car in the uniform to work. They come in, and I don't know if they do change shoes or anything. So basically, they bring all the germs from outside into the hospital.
That's a good point. And actually, I mentioned that to Scott because he works in a care home, okay?
Mhm.
And I said to him, he worked in a COVID yard, actually, ward, sorry, in the nursing home. So he didn't catch it, and so, which is great. Okay. Are you okay?
I am
Look,
okay, yes.
yeah. And then he didn't catch it, which is fantastic, obviously. And I said to him, by the way, oh, where do you change your clothes? And before all that happened, I remember him saying, oh, I just put my clothes at home and I just go. And and then after that, and then just about a week, no, a bit longer than that, maybe 2, 3 weeks ago, maybe a month, where do you change your clothes? And now we change it at work. And I said to him, that should carry on after the pandemic. That should carry on all the time. You should,
Yes, yeah.
and that's how it should be. I don't understand. Uh, I don't understand. There is obviously a lack of compassion towards our own planet at the minute, and we need to look after our planet. Yeah.
Well, that is why we need to look after also our inner voice, because we as coaches, we know that we need to control our thoughts, we need to control our actions, we need to control our activity, and so on and so on. So we are sort of people who are telling others to control. So we need to really lead by example.
Oh
So
yeah.
controlling our inner voice is very important, because by controlling it, we are actually getting it to work on our side and help us to think in the appropriate way, shall I say. I think, at least in my experience, when I understood how our brain is working, what is it consisting of, okay, and through my study of Ho'oponopono, I have learned that our mind and our emotions are really the thing that we could use as a very, very powerful tool. And that tool is also strong enough to take control of this little fellow that sits on our arm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And when we get him on our side, it's really, really amazing.
Right. So okay. So to summarize all this, to get that little fellow that's nagging us on our side, what will be the tips we could give them?
The first and foremost tip is not to treat it as our enemy, is to treat it as our friend.
Ah, yeah.
So we need to nurture it like we would be nurturing a child.
Okay. Yes.
Okay. So for instance, imagine yourself getting up in the morning and getting this little fellow out of the bed with you, okay, and cuddle him, tell him that you love him, tell him that you want him or her, however you call it, to work with you, to support you, okay. When you dress this as well, okay. Make sure it is dressed warmly so it's not getting cold, and keep talking to him like if you would be talking to another person. Okay, tell him that you love him. Tell him that you love him.
So you love that little voice. Yeah,
I love it, and every time I say I love you, my stomach gets warm.
Oh yeah, because I think, can I make a point on here? Because
yes,
we get aggressive toward that little voice or little swine and that kind of thing, where you're actually producing some negative energy around it.
Exactly. So when we talk positively, we are actually enhancing the positive energy and positive vibes in our body, okay, and we are actually motivating ourselves through that.
Yeah, I think that's an excellent point, really. So it's like talking to another human being.
Yes, it's like talking to a friend.
Yeah, and a friend, I think we should be doing that and this and the other, and say, I appreciate your support. Thank you very much. I just happen to think in a different way, and that's how I would like to do it.
Exactly.
And if you want to do things the way you want to do it, that's absolutely fine with me.
Yeah. I tell you one more very interesting thing, because according to Ho'oponopono, okay, every single material thing is talking to you.
Every single material thing, yeah.
Yeah. So this little fellow is a cuddly thing.
Yeah.
But it tells you their story.
Right.
Okay. Your computer tells you a story. Your wall tells you a story. Your chair that you are sitting on will tell you a story. And so everything that we have that surrounds us is an energy. So we are energy as well. So why don't we become friends?
Yeah.
Okay. And when we are friendly, things are going much better.
True.
When we talk positive things, we are affirming at the same time. Okay. So for instance, I quite often use this little affirmation, which is every day, in every way, I'm getting better and better and better.
Yeah.
Okay. It's a very powerful affirmation. But I am getting better and better and better because I've got this little fellow on my arm.
Yeah.
My friend. He tells me positive things. He tells me, come on, you can do it. Or if I am sort of a little bit down and slow, he goes and tells me, hey, come on, you can do it. What are you doing procrastinating? Come on. You know, he gets me going. If I feel tired, he say, come on, you can do it. Or come on, you can have 10 minutes break. You know what I mean? So when you have a friend like that, you can move mountains.
Yeah, so that little thing that used to tell you, oh no, you can't do that,
can be telling you totally opposite things.
As long as you're not going like, oh, you little swine, and
exactly
and produce negative energy. Yeah. Oh, my little voice, thank you very much. Yeah, we can work together, can't we? Yes, we can, Roger. Yeah.
Absolutely. So that, you know, it makes us like, somebody might look at us and say, oh, behaving like children. Well, we are children.
Yeah.
Yes, and if we look at the children who are age 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, they are so free, they are so open, they are so honest. We should be taking example from those children.
Yeah.
Because they are telling us one very important aspect of what they are doing is that they are unconditional. Children give you unconditional love.
Yeah, because there is no barriers
They have no barriers. It's only when we get older and we get all of these limiting beliefs being told us, all of this negativity that we are going and experiencing through our teenage and adult life. And then when we become older, what happened? We are becoming children.
Yeah.
Yes. So why don't we use that the childish attitude, the childish approach throughout our life? It would be so much better. It would be so much positive, and we could do so much more.
Yeah, that's true. So, yeah, absolutely. Because at the end of the day, when we think about it, children from the age of 0 to 5 probably don't have any barriers. Well, most of them don't anyway. And and they want to achieve their dream. They want to become like the next person going to the moon. They want, and some do. At the end of the day, some actually have,
Absolutely.
some do. Some kids are going to be the next Lewis Hamilton. Are going to be the next pilot of the Boeing 747.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that kind of thing. And I'm going to be the next big business.
Cantona or anyone. They can be anyone.
And then there is no limit. It's only after. And actually, that's interesting because what you just said, because it's what limited. Because sometimes I can hear the neighbors across the road. They're nice people. I don't know her very well, but every time I saw the lady, I saw the guy a few times. He brought me some vegetables across from that other guy. Anyway, we got a little short. Sometimes I can hear the woman who's around 12 o'clock is still in a dressing gown and all the rest of it, shouting at a child. I mean, when I say shouting, properly shouting at a child, like maybe 100 or 200 yards away. I don't know what she's saying. And but after that, I can tell you, it's okay to be feeling good. Not the way she talks to him. Yeah, and then the word, one of the words that come out of her mouth, no, 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 as we know. And then, and if you multiply that by the number of times she says it inside the house, when she's in a good mood, or when she's in a bad mood, that's probably even worse, like she was the other day. Poor child, by the time he's 7, 8, or 10,
Exactly.
yeah.
So, Roger, just to wrap it up, make
Okay.
sure that this little fellow can sit on your arm and will not be a weight on your shoulder. It will be your best ally.
Yeah, that's fantastic. That's really fantastic. Okay, that's very good.
Thank you so much, Roger, for this discussion. And I hope that our viewers will appreciate a little bit of fun today, and will make sure that this little fellow is not going to be weight, is going to be an angel speaking into our ears.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much, Roger.
And listen to the music inside.
Yes, we see you